Sorry.
No, that's great, to have your help with this. And so I'm going to click through here and we'll give you a little overview of, again, what this is all about, what we're trying to do beyond what Sandra had touched on, and then we're going to ask for your help. So again, this is really all about a comprehensive and a detailed understanding of the health of sport experiences in our community here in Calgary. I think it's really important to note that other work has been done, and we are not duplicating efforts, we're not discounting efforts, but whether you're familiar with some of the work that's been done in through the city of Calgary or through other markets, perhaps, the focus of our work here is really on sport specifically. So, yes, recreation and all active opportunities are very much a part of the sport world, but our focus is sport. All the facilities, all the organizations, all the individual sports that make up the sport fabric here in Calgary. And we're looking to get that deep understanding of the health of sport here in Calgary. So, as Sandra mentioned, we can use this information to go forward, and certainly Sport Calgary can, and it's going to inform advocacy efforts, facility development. You know, there's an economic engine that goes with sport, and so that's what this is all about. And this research that we're undertaking is really one piece of a larger effort to engage the whole community in sport. So our role as consultants through Stone Olufsen, we primarily do research and consulting, and we have been engaged by Sport Calgary to help with this undertaking. And so there's three components to the work that we're looking at. The first one is all about understanding public engagement with respect to sport. I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. The second piece is gathering that industry perspective. That's where you come in, and that's where what I'm going to focus on today. We're really looking to understand the health of the sports sector by collecting input from sports organizations representing, again, facilities or perhaps a governing body or an individual sport. Your perspective and your input is going to be incredibly valuable to us in this work. The final piece of the work that we're doing is a very comprehensive sports audit or inventory. We're looking at all facilities and infrastructure, businesses and organizations that touch sport. So likely all of your organizations will be at least listed in this work. And that's so we have a really clear picture of what's out there, right? And some facilities and infrastructure and businesses are more well known and others less known, but they're all part of our sports fabric. So if I just were to expand a little bit on this research roadmap or the different components of the research, understanding public engagement, as I mentioned, this is where we need the input of the public and we need the input of sports participants. So there's two components to this piece. First, our team is undertaking a survey, a general population survey of all Calgarians, well, not all Calgarians, but a representative sample of Calgarians to get an understanding of engagement in sport today, both adults and youth, perceptions of sport today, concerns about sport, benefits of sport, spending on sport, all of those things. So that is a general market overview, and that's something that our team is handling. Related to that, though, is a similar survey, but of sports participants. And I'm going to come back to that in a minute, but essentially, we will ask for your help potentially in reaching out to your players and your athletes on this piece. And we're covering some of the same topics, but we want to understand people that are involved in sport today. So that may be a parent of youth that are engaged in sport. It may be an individual themselves who's engaged in sport. And it can be anything from competitive to recreation. We want to get that perspective of sports participants specifically. Now, the industry perspective, I'll come back to the sports audit, as I mentioned, comprehensive review, facilities, infrastructure. We may ask for your help here and just giving us what you have so we can make sure that it's included and not missed. The industry's perspective is where we sit today, and this is the first piece. So yes, we've layered it 1, 2, 3, but really two is going ahead first. We have a survey prepared and ready that we would like to ask you to help and take the survey. Really quite simply. It is designed for you and for people in your roles and to get your perspective. So that is the ask. First and foremost, we would love for everyone on this call to take our industry survey. And the reason that we're asking for this, as I've already touched on, is it's just so critical to get an understanding of issues of the day from an organizer's perspective, right? From the folks that are running sport and have um, a deep involvement in sport, right? We know, and probably everyone on this meeting today knows, you've got parents, coaches, players, and they all have perspectives. Some are valid, some are maybe a little bit less informed. You guys are the ones that know your industry and you know your sport best and you know the issues of the day. So we really need your help. What we're asking for is, I have the QR code here. That will take you directly to the survey. You are welcome to take a picture of it now or take a screenshot of it now and take it right now or right after this meeting. We'd really love that for you. What we're asking for is one representative per organization. So if you work for a governing body, we don't need everyone in your office taking the survey. One representative per organization is what we're looking for. Having said that, we'd also love for you to encourage all the organizations that work around you to take this survey and to engage. So, for example, if you are a Hockey Calgary or a Calgary Minor Soccer, and I only throw those out because they're at the top of my head, we'd love for those organizations to send this survey out to all of your associations, to your leagues, to your individual clubs to help us with this as well, because we want their perspective also. So to that point, we will provide some materials that you can help push this survey out yourself. Right now we're having this, we say the survey is available until June 30th. That is a flexible date depending on how many responses we get and the type of engagement that we get. So we really encourage you to take the survey. It takes about 10 minutes and just having your perspective is going to be really valuable. So I've touched on this, but if you're wondering who should be taking this, the key here is organizations and non-individuals. So governing body, that's an easy one. If you are representing an individual club, an individual association, or you're operating a league, we'd love your perspective. If you are a trainer and you provide your services to athletes, we would love that perspective. You are a business, you represent an organization. If you are a post-secondary institution, not in as a whole, but you're working for an athletic department or you are a sports-specific school, we'd love that perspective. And if you are a facility operator for a soccer center or the Oval or an arena, we would love your perspective as well. So it's very, very broad. We believe we've designed the survey in a way that everybody can answer it. And just to give everyone a flavor, if you're kind of going, I don't want to go into this blind, what the heck are you going to ask me? We are going to ask about the sports you represent, your perceptions on participation levels, and are they growing in or are they in decline? Some of that is going to be more sports specific. If you represent something more broadly, don't worry. We'd still encourage you to take the survey. We have options for you to get through the survey as well. We want to know a little bit about the organizations that are operating in sport here in Calgary, including your revenue streams, not dollar amounts. We're just trying to understand the landscape. And then perhaps most importantly, we want to know your thoughts on how you feel about the state of sport in Calgary today. Where do you need to see it grow? What support would be more important to you? All those types of things. So it helps us, but hopefully it helps you too, because it gives you an opportunity to kind of highlight or voice any concerns or thoughts that you might have. So that is that first piece, the industry survey. We'd love for you to do that, and we'd love for you to do it today or tomorrow or before you forget, I guess, is the point. But I do want to touch on those other pieces of the work. So I talked about industry perspective. The sports participant survey, this is something we are developing now as well, and we would love your support on this. For those of you that are familiar with Sport Calgary's All Sport One Day event on June 21st, I believe, we will have this available there. So that will be for anyone that's joining and participating in that day. This is available to youth 13 and over, parents, anyone that does sport today. And I would actually encourage you, if you are somebody who is representing an organization, that's why you're here today, of course, take our industry survey. But if you play a sport, please take this survey. You can tell your friends to take this survey. This is one where we can spread widely because all we're looking for is people that participate in sport. All you have to do is live in Calgary and or surrounding region, and you have to play sport, a sport, any sport. We're looking for a wide variety of perspectives. So this survey, the participant survey, will be available in the next week or so. Sandra will help us get it to you. It will be available at All Sport one day. We will be sharing it on some of our social platforms. And you can also email it out. So this is for players and athletes and coaches and officiants and parents. A little bit different than the industry survey, but both are equally important. And then finally, that sports audit piece that we are kind of doing in the background. If you have a list of your facilities that your sport uses or contacts, we would love to hear from you too. And you can pass that along to Sandra and just ask that it be included in our inventory. And we would really appreciate that. It helps us so we don't have to go over ground taken, essentially. So that is the ask. I'll just recap that quickly, what we're hoping to get from this group today. We'd love for you to take our industry survey. We'd love for you to distribute it to your membership or other relevant sports organizations. To do that, you saw the QR code. I'll show that again in a minute. And Sandra has some materials that she can also send you where you can just send out the link, or we also have an email invitation that you can use. You can change it as you need, but you're welcome to use that and send it out to your membership or other organizations that are under your umbrella. The key is this is industry. And then once it comes out and we communicate that with you, we'd love for you to encourage your athletes and your members to take our participant survey. That's going to be really helpful as well. And then last but not least, any facility documentation is also really helpful for us. So that was quite brief, but I hope it's given you some information on what we're doing here and what we're looking for. If you have any questions, Sandra will be your Sport Calgary is your first stop, but you can also reach out to myself and my colleague Zoe, who's on this call, with any questions directly. This is the link again to the industry survey. We'd encourage you to take that. And at this point, I think what I'd like to do is, first of all, leave room for Sandra if I've missed anything or if you have any other comments. And then certainly we can open it up for questions. I do see there's some in the chat, but I don't know if those are questions or something. So Sandra, is there anything you'd like to add? Oh, I'm going to put this back up.
I think that you covered most of the things. Where I'm curious is whether anybody on the call have any question or concerns. And remember, when you entered the room, you were on mute.
And it's a small group, so if anyone does, please feel free to unmute yourself or raise a hand and just shout it out. Well, we must have done a great job at answering all your questions.
Hi.
Oh, yes, Graham. Hi.
And thank you for this. It's very clear, and I can I'm here on behalf of the Calgary Roadrunners Club, and I can complete the survey for the group. I was just wondering about when the participant the wider participation survey comes out. Will you be emailing us, or I wasn't quite sure how I would know to access that, because I can certainly distribute that through our email list and website.
Yeah, your whole club could do it to all the participants. So industry first, yes. We will have it ready middle of next week, and then we will work with Sandra. Sandra, please let me know if I'm overstepping, to distribute it to all of you and request that you send it to your members. So you will likely see an email as a first step.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Stacy, you had a question. Okay, I'll just start reading it from the chat. You were wondering for what purpose we would use the data. So first and foremost, we want to establish some kind of a baseline. Where are we today? What is going on in the sports sector? How big is it? How small it is? What role you play in it? What are your main challenges? What are your pet peeves? What are the things that actually work very well for you? And we all together should continue to do that. So that's basically the reason behind it, to have a clear picture of the sector, because the reality of a small candle club is very different from the reality of CUSA or the YMCA or a community association that have sport facilities in it. So that's the main goal. But I insisted with Matt, who is also on the call, to have as much open question as possible to collect more of your feedback and your concerns. So based on what we get back, plus the knowledge that we have within Sport Calgary, I want to use that data to be able to build some more robust advocacy messaging and platform and conduit.
Yeah.
I
So
love data. I love all the things you're saying to me, Sandra. But then again, you knew I would love it. You had me at
We
hello.
love it, Stacy.
I know, but I also know that some clubs may feel that their realities is not taken into account, and it's not the case. We are looking at everything, but the needs, the challenges, the opportunities for a small club versus a bigger organization, for a volunteer base versus a group that has 15 staff people, is very different. So I want to be able to advocate for all, but in a more equitable manner. So the voice of the smaller clubs is not forgotten and is actually amplified, as well as the concerns of the bigger one can be tackled in maybe in a different ways. So that's why this survey is so important for us in order to really be able to work on your behalf, because if I can't do that, I don't think I have any reason to be with that big screen behind me. Does that answer your question, Stacy?
It sure does. And are you thinking about sharing it back with us? I mean, will you share it with the game plan folks at the city, for instance, and all of that cross contamination?
Exactly. So sharing it with you, yes, there is nothing more frustrating than doing surveys and never seeing the results. So yes, that will be shared with you. It will be also presented in more of a snapshot, not as extensively as possible, but it will be presented at Celebration of Sport. So not only sport clubs will be aware of it, but sport supporters, the funders, the sponsors, or the wannabe sponsors, or the ones that may consider becoming a sponsor, so they understand the concerns, all the challenge, all the opportunities that the sector is facing. So that's definitely the case. Then when it comes to sharing it with more specific groups like game plan, yes, but am I going to talk about everything with them? No, I will look at the results and share with them what is relevant for the success of game plan or the reorientation of game plan. Same, you will see in a few, I think it's in a few weeks, maybe a few months, the city is likely to embark into a sport participation survey of their own things. So first of all, we are working with them. So we will work with them so that the effort is not duplicated, but more complemented. But again, with them, I will not share certain things, but I will share what is relevant so they make some headways without recreating the wheel every 5 minutes.
Could I just add to that, Sandra? I love everything you said, and certainly you know this work best, but I just want to double down on what Sandra had mentioned. The beauty of having something like this is that very thing. I'm involved in sport. Everyone on our team is involved in sport, and when we've had these conversations with Sandra, we'll talk about, well, we should explore this issue. It's an issue that maybe somebody is already, we know exists in sport, but you just don't know to what degree it's real or not, or like the magnitude of it. And the degree to how some issues differ by size of organization. I think that's so important. We will have the ability, and again, it may be not shared widely in all forms, but the ability to slice and dice the data in that manner, right? Where you can look at the concerns of different sports, different organizations. And I think that will be so powerful for Sandra and her team to have that ability to act on data once we get it. So I really appreciated everything you said, Sandra, and just wanted to kind of reiterate it.
Sure. And one of the things that I would like to add, within the boundaries of privacy, FOIP, and protection of data, if a club needs some kind of data, some kind of quantitative or qualitative data in order to apply for a grant or to push their own advocacy because they're doing a capital fundraising for new facilities, I want the clubs to feel comfortable to come to us, and we will share the relevant data with them, again, within boundaries of the protection of the data overall. But this research is for Sport Calgary, but it's actually for you. It's not just for me to push some papers on the side of my desk. I have enough of that. Is there any other questions? So by show of hands or little nudge somewhere on the chat room, do you feel comfortable taking the survey, the industry survey, within your organization? Or is there anything that concerns you? Already taken it, okay.
I love that.
Really? Yeah. Okay. So the second, and if you do have concerns that you cannot raise right now, please feel free to send me an email. My email is somewhere at the top of the chat. My second question is, do you feel comfortable engaging with your members and your participants within your club to circulate the participant survey to them when we send it across? Okay, Cheryl, your hand is up as a chair. Yes, we'll do it. Or do you have a question? Okay,
Thumbs up.
we're good. Okay, in which case, Matt, do you want to say a few words?
Have my hand.
Just thank you everyone for your help in this. This is all about engaging the sports community and engaging Calgarians. And as leaders, you are really, really key for this to work. And I know the city is going to be doing some sport demand stuff later in the fall, and that's going to be different. But this is really, really critical for understanding sport. So thank you very, very, very much. And if you have any questions, Sandra is obviously able to help you. But if there's other things like technical, Zoe and Kim's emails in the chat as well. And reach out. We want to make sure that it's as easy as possible for you. So thanks again.
I do see one comment from Lorraine here. Maybe it's worth addressing. One participant per organization, but also share. Yeah. So what we're asking is if you represent your organization, we don't need multiple perspectives from your organization. But if you are like a governing body, please send it out to individual clubs or other organizations under your umbrella.
Yeah.
I hope that makes sense.
Or if you talk to others in other sports, make
Yes.
sure they know about it. Like, please share the word. This is not, we have a network and we're trying to reach everybody, but if everybody's talking about it, then everybody's going to do it. So the more people that talk about it, the better.
Okay, so I had my hand up, plus I had put the question in the chat.
Sorry.
So I'm glad that you said we can send it to others, because not only I'm here to represent our community association, but down at Pop Davies with the Ball Diamonds, we do have the South Calgary Rockies softball league, and they're really trying to raise funds to make the field at a level that you can even host provincial tournaments. So then I can send this
Please, yeah.
to him, because they're they're working very hard, and of course and great. I appreciated the question that about infrastructure, because that's the reality of older communities. So much of our profits go to maintaining, and so when big expenses need to be made and you have to have a matching grant, it's so frustrating because you might not have that amount to match the the matching grant to get the work done. So that's a big frustration for aging facilities.
So, Lorraine, I will just step in for a second. Please, on the sideline, contact me or ask that group to contact me. We do have an exhaustive list of grants that we can maybe connect them with. Sport Calgary, depending on the project that you're doing, send us the details. If you need a letter of support from us, we can help there. Just spread the word that we're here to serve you. So let them know, give my email out, and I'm happy to follow up with you.
And you're Kim, right?
No, my name is Right here. My name is Sandra.
Oh, Sandra, okay. Okay, so I have to look for the email of Sandra.
If
I'll
wires
put it in
get
the
crossed
chat.
and something
Yeah.
lands on our desk, we will get it to Sandra, no question.
Okay, good enough.
Yeah. And just to add real quick, I mean, Lorraine, you're talking about one funding need. The whole point of this survey and the study is to get a collective overview so that the whole sector is well represented and not just one voice or two voices or three voices. So it gives a little bit of critical mass. This is how the arts sector has done this for the last 10 years as well, is to capture so that policymakers can understand this is the depth of need or the scope of need and all of that as well. So each of your individual responses make up part of that collective fabric. That's really, really important. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate your time today.
And those faces that I see on the call, yes, I'm going to follow up with you individually. Make sure you've done it, Stacy, Stephen, and others. So thank you.
Okay, if you have any other questions, concerns, feedback, rant, cheers, my email is at the bottom of the chat. Feel free to grab it. Feel free to send me a note. If you want to reach Kim, Matt, or Zoe, or Isaac, who is also on the call, feel free. Whatever way, we will communicate with each other and pass the message along to whoever needs to answer it. I want to thank you very, very much for your time. And we will have a similar meeting again next week, same day, same time. So June 19th, 1:30, for any groups that could not make it today. And we're trying to do one in the evening as well. We're trying to set that up just to capture the groups that do not have the luxury of taking an extended lunch break to actually come on the call. Okay, so if you talk to people, well, keep talking to people and let them know that we are doing this little engagement, and they can join us anytime they want.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.